My name is Sarah. I am 31 years old, and I live in a quiet town called Willow Creek. It's a small place with wide streets and tall maple trees. People say it's a peaceful town, and maybe it is, but for me, it's a place filled with quiet noise that only I can hear inside my heart. I live in a small house. It has 2 bedrooms, a little garden, and white curtains in the kitchen window. I live alone. I work as a school librarian. Every day, I help children find books, read stories out loud, and smile when they ask me funny questions. People say I have a calm life. They think I'm content, but the truth is, I feel lost. 3 years ago, I was married to a man named Peter. He was kind, smart, and funny in a quiet way. We met in college, fell in love quickly, and thought we had it all figured out. We got married in a park under a big oak tree. I wore a simple white dress, and he wore a navy blue suit. For a while, life was good. We cooked together, laughed at silly jokes, and stayed up late watching old movies. But one rainy evening, everything changed. Peter came home, wet from the storm, and sat down without speaking. He looked at me and said, "Sarah, I'm not happy. I haven't been happy for a long time." My heart sank. I didn't understand. He said he loved me, but not in the same way anymore. He needed to find his own path. And just like that, he packed a bag and left. I cried every day for weeks. The house felt empty. The bed felt too big. I couldn't eat much. I couldn't sleep. I went to work and smiled at children, but my heart was shattered. People said, "You'll be fine, Sarah." Time heals everything. But I hated those words. They didn't understand the pain of being left behind. 1 year after the divorce, I met Thomas. He was 35, a dentist in town. He was soft-spoken, gentle, and always polite. My friends pushed me to go on dates again. "You need to move on," they said. So I gave it a try. I met Thomas for coffee, then for dinner, then for more. He was nice, very nice. He opened doors, remembered my favorite tea, and sent sweet messages every morning. After a few months, Thomas asked me to be his girlfriend. I said yes. I wasn't in love, but I didn't want to be alone anymore. I thought maybe love would come later. I thought maybe this was how healing looked. Thomas made me feel safe, and that felt like enough. But it wasn't. 2 years passed. We lived together in my house. He moved in slowly, first with a toothbrush, then with a suitcase, then with all his things. He brought calm to my life. He made dinner when I stayed late at the library. He fixed the leaky faucet and watered the plants. But inside me, something was still missing. Sometimes we sat on the porch and watched the sunset. He would hold my hand and say, "I'm lucky to have you." And I would smile, but I wouldn't feel it. I tried to love him. I tried to be the person he needed. But my heart stayed quiet. One night, we were lying in bed. He whispered, "Do you ever think about having a family?" My chest felt tight. I didn't answer. He continued, "I think you'd be a wonderful mother." I turned away and stared at the wall. I wanted to say I'm still broken, but the words stayed inside. A week later, I visited my sister. Lily. She lives 2 towns over with her husband and 2 kids. Her life is loud and full of love. We sat in her kitchen, drinking tea while her children played with building blocks on the floor. She looked at me and said, "You seem tired, Sarah." Really tired. I looked at her and said, "I'm pretending every day. I'm living a life that doesn't feel like mine." She didn't judge me. She just held my hand and said, "You don't have to pretend forever. You deserve real love, too." That night, I wrote in my journal, "I think I settled for peace instead of passion. I chose quiet over chaos. But maybe love isn't supposed to feel like nothing. Maybe it's okay to wait for something that truly moves me." Days passed, then weeks. I kept thinking about those words. I looked at Thomas, kind, patient Thomas, and I felt guilt. Not because I had done something wrong, but because I hadn't been honest with myself or with him. One Sunday, he made pancakes and brought them to bed. I took a bite and smiled. He said, "You know I love you, right?" I nodded slowly. "Thomas," I said, "I care about you so much, but I don't think I love you the way you deserve to be loved." His face fell. He didn't speak right away. Then he asked, "Is it because of Peter?" I shook my head. "No. It's because of me. I thought I could grow love, but it never came." We sat in silence for a long time. He looked down at the tray of pancakes and said, "I guess deep down I knew." I felt a tear slide down my cheek. I said, "I don't want to keep pretending. I want us both to be truly happy." He nodded slowly. "Then I think it's time for me to move out." A week later, he left. He packed his things gently, said goodbye to the garden, and gave me a long, quiet hug. He didn't say much, but his eyes said everything. I closed the door behind him and cried for hours, not because I lost love, but because I had let go of safety. The weeks that followed were quiet. I went to work, came home, and sat alone. But this time, I didn't feel broken. I felt real. I felt honest. I started taking long walks in the evening. I joined a painting class at the community hall. I began writing poems again, something I hadn't done since college. One poem ended like this: "I have lived a quiet life in borrowed shoes. Now I walk barefoot, and the ground is mine." I smiled when I wrote that. Months passed. One rainy afternoon, I got a letter in the mail. It was from Thomas. It said, "Dear Sarah, thank you for your honesty. I'm doing okay. I moved closer to my sister, started a new job, and I'm learning how to cook. I still think of you with kindness. You helped me see what I truly want in life. I hope you're doing well, too." I folded the letter and kept it in my drawer. I didn't cry. I just felt peaceful. Now, it's been almost a year since that morning I told the truth. My house is still the same, but it feels more like mine now. I bought new curtains, yellow ones. I planted tulips in the garden. I sit on the porch with tea and watch the sky turn pink at sunset. I'm still alone, but I'm not lonely. I'm not pretending. I'm still healing. And for the first time in years, I feel like I'm on the right path. If someone is reading this and feeling the same confusion, the same silence inside, this is what I want to say. You are not wrong for wanting more. You are not selfish for choosing truth over comfort. You are allowed to start again. Be honest, be brave, and always listen to your heart.